I need me some children. Or anyone who's feeling kind of childlike, come and sit with me here at the front for a second. We have to have a very important conversation. Hi. So, how you doing? You guys good? Good, good. Do you ever wonder what you want to be when you grow up? Which is, any day now? Yep, what do you want to be when you grow up? A lawyer? And I'm kidding. My brother's a lawyer. Yeah. Marin?
I want to be a hairstylist.
A what?
A hairstylist.
A hairstylist or makeup artist. Okay, you other guys watch out downstairs because she might do your makeup. What do you want to be, Evie?
Ice skate.
Ice skating.
Yeah.
You want to be a skater.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I was thinking you wanted to be a lion tamer, but okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. So a lawyer, an ice skater, and makeup or hairstylist? That's awesome. Lori, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I like being with children, whatever it is with children.
So you got to do what you, okay.
I did.
Yeah,
I'm
that must be
living the
nice.
dream. I'm living the dream.
Yep. So, well, that's cool. Do you think that do you think you're going to be that? Yeah? How do you think, 10, 20 years from now? Like, when you're, not as old as, your parents or anything, but, yeah, but another 8, you figured out when you graduate from high school?
So I'll be 18.
Wow, you are keen. Okay, so a lawyer, ice skater, and hairstylist, makeup artist. That's very cool. That's very cool. Do you spend a lot of time thinking about that, or do you just know it? You just kind of know it? You just kind of know it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, it's really important to, that's really good that you know that, and it's really important that you think about it, right? Especially as you grow up, you take time to think about it, right? When I was your age, I wanted to be a policeman.
Every little
What do you mean every little boy wants to be a policeman? Does Grayson want to be a policeman? Or does he want to be a hockey player?
He wants to design shoes. He wants to design shoes.
He wants to design shoes. That's very specific, Ben. Very specific. That's awesome. But do you think about what it's going to be like to be a lawyer or an ice skater or a makeup artist, or do you think about that? You spend a lot of time thinking about that? You should do more work. No, I'm kidding. You should spend time thinking about that. We should all spend time thinking about that. In fact, as we get older, we should spend more time thinking about that. In fact, we should always be spending time thinking about that. Because we're always growing, right? Are you wondering what your dad wants to be when he grows up? You want me to ask everyone what they want to be when they grow up? Okay, anybody want to offer what they'd like to be when they grow up?
Sure, I will. I just want to be loving and caring in whatever I do.
That's so good, Carly.
Yeah.
I love that.
Get down here, we're changing places. Come on. And I'm just kidding, you don't have, you can come down in front. Yeah, so you want to be loving and caring at whatever it is that you do.
Yes.
You just want to love what you do. That is the best answer. That is the best answer. Because that is what you want to do. You want somewhere between the things that you find you're really good at and the things that you really love or things that are really important to you, somewhere those things connect. And that's where you want to be, right? And sometimes that takes some thinking, that takes some figuring out. Do you know what Lent is?
It's a time of the year is what I know.
Yeah, the church has seasons. You know how we have days, but we have seasons, right? Right now it should be getting close to spring and it's not. But the church has seasons too, and we have this season of 40 days between now and Easter, where it's called Lent. And what Lent is about is exactly that. It's about taking time to think and reflect and wonder about who we are and how we are, particularly how we are with God. But it's a time to wonder about who we are and what we might do with our lives. And the reason I always think of it that way, because the reason we have Lent is there's this story about Jesus going into the wilderness for 40 days where he doesn't eat or drink anything. Who's up for that?
Maybe some meditators.
No? Okay. Maybe we could take some drink or food with us, maybe. So Jesus goes into the desert, but I think that's why he goes there. You see, the story happens, it's like the second story we hear about Jesus as an adult. He gets baptized, and then he goes into the desert, and then he goes off into doing his thing, right? Yeah. So I think that's what that time is about Jesus figuring out who he is and where he's going and what he's going to do. So we have this time coming to Easter where we do just that as people and like as a church, and we wonder about who we are and what we might do and whether or not we'll make it all the way to the front this time. And we did. Hi. Awesome. So it turns out there's people who are really good with children over on this side too, Lori. It turns out there's people who are really good with children on this side too. Yeah. So maybe you have lots of time. You might change your mind. You might decide to be somebody who loves to just be with children and do stuff with children. Right? Or you might suddenly find as you get older that you're more interested in other things. The important thing is that you take your time to think about it and wonder about it. And remember that the whole time you're doing that, just like with Jesus, God's with you. The Spirit is there. And as long as the Spirit is there, you're good, right? I see a lot of Spirit here. So good luck downstairs. Thanks for listening, guys. Thank you for coming to the front.
Yeah, no problem.